Many leaders recognize that an increased ability to manage climate risk is an important step in economic development. In the developing world, millions of people are increasingly vulnerable to climate and weather events. For example, the livelihoods and well-being of farmers and herders are put at risk during periods of flooding or drought. Governments, too, sometimes struggle to respond to climate-related disasters in a timely way because of resource constraints, which exacerbates the impacts of these events. A new type of insurance, called index insurance, offers exciting opportunities as a climate risk management tool for vulnerable populations in these countries. Index insurance is linked to an amount of rainfall, for example, rather than a specific impact of weather, such as crop loss. The second issue of Climate and Society, published by the International Research Institute for Climate and Society, explores the status and potential of index insurance to meet development objectives.
The publication synthesizes the experiences, challenges, and opportunities for advancing index insurance as a development tool. We designed a process to bring together development partners, relief organizations, the private sector, civil society, and NGOs to contribute their perspectives on the current state of index insurance and its future potential to meet the needs of the poor.
Index insurance increases transparency, lowers transaction costs, and reduces the likelihood of misuse. These qualities make it more viable for participation by small farmers. Governments are also interested in index insurance as a tool to finance disaster relief in a more sustainable way.
In 2003, with the International Finance Corporation and World Bank, we showed that Indian farmers understand and demand this type of insurance. In 2005, in Malawi, in Africa, at the farmer and community scale, index insurance has given some farmers access to credit for the very first time, enabling them to purchase improved seeds and fertilizers. At national and regional scales, we piloted weather index insurance in 2005 to help provide more timely and reliable relief in Ethiopia. We are encouraged by these experiences and the emerging weather risk markets in India and elsewhere, but realize that challenges remain before index insurance can fulfill its promise in Africa as well. Key public goods, especially functioning weather stations and reliable weather data, are critical for scale-up.
In developed countries, people commonly have access to insurance and other financial risk transfer mechanisms that reduce vulnerability, but in developing countries, insurance markets are limited if they exist at all.
Poor people are more vulnerable than rich people to whatever calamity might happen, and obviously, in principle, would have more to gain from insurance. But to date, no insurance instrument has truly been designed that could work for poor people. With index insurance, the topic of this publication, that could in fact change.
The excitement here is that we're applying new thinking to confront long-standing problems. As the publication details, we do this by using innovative science and technology, by enhancing the role the private sector plays, by connecting to international risk pooling, and by working with countries to develop the capacity of their people and institutions. This publication highlights the critical importance of tackling this agenda together.
The African farmer is the only farmer in the world who takes all the risks, and I think there are some in Asia and Latin America. They take all the risks, no insurance, no access to financing, no, in some cases, governmental support. So they swim and sink on their own. So to hear that insurance is possible, for them is going to be the difference between survival and catastrophe. And this is something we will take forward and see how we can build on that.
To learn more about what index insurance is and how it can be used to reduce poverty, bolster development, and reduce disaster risks, download a copy of Index Insurance and Climate Risk, Prospects for Development and Disaster Management by following the link shown here.